There's something off in your home, but you haven't quite put your finger on it. You've changed the bulbs, moved the furniture, maybe even swapped the rug. But one corner still feels stuck. One room still holds a kind of weight you can't explain. And if you're like most people, you've probably placed your plants where they look nice, not where they actually work. Here's the quiet truth. Most plants are in the wrong spot. Not wrong in a decorative sense, but energetically. You may not believe in energy flow, but you've felt it. That moment you walk into a room and suddenly feel lighter or heavier. That subtle shift when a space just feels better after rearranging one thing. Plants are powerful carriers of energy. Where you place them can either open up your home or quietly drain its warmth and clarity. And you won't find that answer in a design magazine. Today, we're walking through 5 key corners often overlooked, often misused, that can unlock the calm, focused, welcoming energy you've been missing. This isn't about superstition or magic. It's about how your space makes you feel, and why one small shift in where your plant lives might finally make your house feel like it's on your side again. Part 1: Places where plants silently drain energy. 1. Next to a back door, the invisible exit. You might not give it a second thought. A plant by the back door feels harmless, even thoughtful, like you're adding life to a quiet corner. But here's where things quietly begin to shift. A back door is more than a second entrance, it's an energetic leak. It's where warmth, focus, and peace can slip away unnoticed. You might feel it as that vague sense of tiredness when you walk by, or a strange heaviness in the room that cleaning doesn't solve. Now picture this: your plant, placed lovingly by that door, is actually anchoring the flow outward, not inward, not around, out. Even if the door rarely opens, its energy does. And plants, especially large ones, don't just sit there. They absorb, they hold. They move energy whether we see it or not. The more rooted the plant, the more it becomes a gatekeeper. So if you're placing one near a back door, what it's doing quietly is holding the door open. Not physically, energetically. You may think of it as decoration. But over time, you might start noticing things you can't quite name. Difficulty sleeping, finances feeling unstable, conversations in that room always ending too quickly or not feeling quite real. It's not superstition, it's spatial psychology. When something sits at the threshold of an exit, the body knows. The subconscious reads it as a signal something might leave here. Be ready. Now let's take this further. What kind of plant is it? A spiky snake plant pointing outward. A large palm arching toward the exit. These shapes matter. A tall upward growing plant at the entrance says come in. That same plant at the exit says this way out. And while you may not notice the cues consciously, your nervous system does. That room becomes a place of endings, of exits, of uncertainty. And slowly, you stop spending time there. Here's where the energy shift begins. Instead of placing plants next to a back door, use that space to reflect light, like with a mirror angled inward, or soft lighting to invite attention back into the home. If a plant must be there, keep it small, rounded, and paired with a solid object like a ceramic bowl or stone, something grounding. And never place the plant directly in front of the threshold line. Think of energy as water. The plant is the gate. If water keeps running out, maybe it's time to change the gatekeeper. Now you might be wondering, what if I've had a plant there for years? Then you've also had years of micro leaks. Nothing drastic, just a consistent feeling of almost rested, almost stable, almost ready. This is what we're healing, not drama, but delay. And that's why this tiny placement matters. Because when the flow of energy changes, what follows is never tiny. Think about the back door in your own home. Have you placed something there to make it feel less empty, less exposed? That instinct makes sense. But what if instead of filling the space, you've been feeding its exit power? What if the very thing meant to bring life has been silently inviting everything to leave? This is not about guilt, it's about awareness. And once you see it, you can shift it. One move, one breath, one corner at a time. Because a plant near the back door isn't just decor, it's direction. 2. In front of a mirror, reflections gone wrong. There's a reason you pause before a mirror. It's not just to fix your hair. It's to check something. Yourself, your mood, your place in the day. Mirrors are silent validators. They tell you what's there and what's missing. But when a plant is placed directly in front of a mirror, something more complex begins to unfold. At first, it looks beautiful. Greenery doubling in the glass, what's not to love? But in the subtle world of home energy, this setup quietly distorts the balance. Instead of harmony, you may feel friction, tension, or worse, numbness. Mirrors multiply, that's their power. But what they reflect becomes what they repeat. And if your plant is drooping, cluttered, or placed in a space already feeling off, the mirror echoes it. Every leaf becomes two. Every imbalance, mirrored back at you subtly, persistently. You may not notice it at first, but you start to avoid that room. You lose focus while sitting nearby. The space looks fine, but doesn't feel fine. And that's the giveaway. Because our homes don't just house us, they respond to us. They amplify what we let them hold. Now think about the kind of plant you've placed there. Is it tall and blocking the mirror's light? Is it crammed in a corner to fill the space? Or worse, has it started to yellow, and you've told yourself you'll fix it later? That delay matters. What you ignore, your mirror reflects. Not just back into the room, but into you. A mirror with a wilting plant in front of it is like repeating the same tired thought over and over. It reinforces stagnation, confusion, restlessness. And if the plant is healthy, but the placement is aggressive, sharp leaves pointing outward, large pots in tight areas, it can create a sense of pushback, as if the room is resisting you. And deep down, that affects how safe, relaxed, and connected you feel at home. So what's the alternative? If you love the look of greenery near a mirror, place it to the side, not directly in front. Let it frame the mirror, not dominate it. Choose soft shapes, like cascading vines or rounded leaves, that echo gentleness, not intrusion. And most importantly, let the mirror reflect space, light, flow, not a plant squeezed into its spotlight. When mirrors reflect movement and breathing room, they invite clarity. And when they reflect beauty that's balanced, they reinforce a sense of internal order. Even if everything else in life feels scattered, there's also a spiritual weight to this. A mirror that reflects a blocked or lifeless corner holds that memory. And over time, you begin to accept that version of the room and yourself as truth. But space is not static. You can shift it, open it, rewrite its message with something as small as moving a plant 12 inches to the left. So take a look at the mirror in your hallway, your bedroom, your living room. What is it doubling today? And more importantly, what part of that do you want to keep? Because a mirror never lies. It only shows you what you've allowed to stand in its view. And sometimes, all it takes to see yourself more clearly is to let the reflection breathe again. 3. Between two chairs, the empty conversation. There's a moment that happens in every home. Two people sit down, coffee in hand, sunlight warming the floor, and they begin to talk. Or at least, they try. But somehow, the words feel short. The silence stretches longer than it should. The conversation ends faster than anyone meant it to. And both people walk away with the same quiet thought that felt off. Now look between the chairs. Is there a plant sitting there? A tall one, maybe. Or a wide one. Something meant to fill the space. It might look lovely, balanced, intentional. But here's the truth that most people miss. Placing a plant between two chairs, especially in a conversation area, quietly interrupts the flow of connection. Not loudly, not rudely. Just enough to make intimacy harder. Because when you put something between two people, even something alive, even something green, you're still putting something in between. Energy, attention, presence, it all gets split, divided, slightly rerouted. What should have been eye to eye becomes side to side. What could have been one moment shared becomes two experiences drifting. Plants are beautiful, but they're also boundaries. And when you set one down between two chairs, you're saying without realizing it, this is as close as we get. That message echoes deeper than you think. It lingers in the pauses, the glances, the unfinished sentences. It's why some guests never settle in, why some evenings never turn warm, And yet, this setup is everywhere. 2 armchairs with a plant in the middle. A love seat with a tall fern reaching upward like a divider. We've been told it looks good, that it grounds the space. But function must follow feeling. If your space doesn't invite conversation, doesn't make people want to lean in, then what is it grounding? Really? Let's go further. What kind of plant is there? Something spiky. Something tall and stiff. Those shapes hold a vertical energy upward. Protective, slightly defensive. Now imagine trying to share something vulnerable with that in your periphery. The room listens differently. You listen differently, and so does the person across from you. Even gentle plants, when placed in the center, become a kind of polite blockade. Their job is to grow, to claim space, and they do. So your moment of connection gets rerouted around them, like water around a stone. No wonder it feels harder to be open. No wonder the room, though beautiful, feels distant. So what can you do instead? It's not about removing life from the room. It's about where that life breathes. Move the plants slightly off-center. Let it stand beside one chair, not between them. Choose low, round plants instead of tall ones, shapes that suggest openness, not separation. Or better yet, place something symbolic of shared presence. A candle, a small bowl, a photo, something that invites attention together, not apart. And then watch what changes. Watch how conversations stretch a little longer. How silence feels more comfortable. How guests start to settle in with less effort. It's not magic, it's permission. You're giving the space back to what it was meant for: connection, warmth, presence. Not just decoration. Because some of the most important conversations of your life won't happen at a dinner table or during a planned moment. They'll happen in these in-between spaces. 2 chairs, a shared glance, a breath before a story. And the difference between that moment blooming or quietly closing could be one plant standing in the wrong place. So next time you walk by those chairs, ask yourself, does this setup make someone want to open up or lean away? Because homes don't just hold furniture. They hold patterns. And every object is either building a bridge or quietly standing in the way. Part 2: The 5 corners that unlock life plus fortune. Number 1. Southeast corner of the living room, the wealth corner. Some corners in your home hold more than furniture. They hold permission. The permission to grow, to welcome, to receive. And if you've ever felt like abundance was just out of, not completely absent, but never fully landing, there's a part of your home that might be involved in that quiet delay. It's called the southeast corner of your living room. But more than a direction, it's a signal, a pulse, a subtle invitation to either let fortune settle in or watch it drift away before it ever arrives. Now let's get honest. In most homes, the southeast corner gets treated like an afterthought. It's where the Wi-Fi router hides, or where an armchair is squeezed in to balance the couch. Some people even leave it completely empty, thinking it helps the room breathe. But energy doesn't just need space. It needs direction. And this corner is the one that silently governs how open you are to receiving not just money, but clarity, opportunity, and yes, peace of mind. When neglected, this corner begins to feel flat, still, muted. It becomes the kind of place you dust, but never visit. The kind of space that holds air, but not life. And without knowing it, that same pause begins to echo in your finances, your career, your sense of momentum. Not blocked, just paused, repeatedly. But here's what happens when you activate this corner the right way. Things don't magically fall from the sky, but they begin to land. Ideas that were circling finally arrive. Bills that felt like burdens come with new clarity. Opportunities stop passing by and start knocking, gently, respectfully. This isn't mysticism. It's spatial psychology. It's energetic design. And at the center of it is one choice: what you place here, and how. So let's talk plants. Because nothing unlocks flow like a living, breathing presence. But not just any plant. The southeast corner responds best to shapes that rise. Think of it like this: you're planting a visual cue of upward movement. A reminder to your space and your own mind that energy is meant to rise, not sink. Bamboo, money trees, Rubber plants with glossy leaves, these aren't trends. They're vessels, quiet symbols of movement, patience, and sustained growth. Now let's go deeper. It's not just what plant you use, it's how you place it. The pot should feel steady, not flashy, not oversized. Think grounded, reliable. Earth tones or deep greens work best here, not too light, not too bright. Avoid anything that feels overly decorative or high maintenance. The energy here should whisper steady progress, not scream for attention. This is not the place for a diva plant. This is the place for a partner. Next, light. This corner should never sit in complete shadow. If natural light doesn't reach it, use a soft lamp during the day. Light is what activates energy. You don't need intensity, you need consistency. A warm glow in this corner can change how the whole room feels over time. And if you've ever walked into your living room and felt a slight unease or weird emptiness, you couldn't explain it, might have started here. One more thing, don't clutter it. This is not the corner for cords, baskets, or forgotten gifts. If it becomes a drop-off zone, it sends a very different message: I don't know what to do with this. And life listens. So if you want clear energy and financial ease, make this corner clear, purposeful, alive. Even a single upward plant in the right light can shift the vibration of the entire room. Now let's bring this inward. Ask yourself, where in your life do you feel stuck, but not broken? Where do you feel like things are almost moving but not quite landing? That's what this corner reflects. Not lack, not failure, just interruption. And the beauty of interruptions is they can be rerouted. So today, take a slow walk to the southeast corner of your living room. Notice it. Really notice it. How it smells, how it's lit, what it's holding. Then ask, does this feel like a place where growth is welcome? Does this look like a space I trust to hold my future? And if not, begin again, gently. Add one plant, one light, one quiet sign that says I'm ready. Because the southeast corner isn't just where you place a plant. It's where your home places a bet on you, on your capacity to receive without guilt, to rise without noise, to build a life not of noise or chase, but of quiet, rooted momentum. That's the real meaning of wealth. And sometimes it starts in a corner no one else notices but you. Number 2. Northwest, near a window, the guardian point. Not all corners are for growth. Some are for watching, holding, protecting. There's a part of every home that doesn't ask for attention, but gives it. It holds the line when life feels scattered. It watches over the noise without becoming it. In energy flow, that corner is often found in the northwest, especially near a window. It's where you place your quiet strength, where your home becomes not just a shelter, but a sentinel. Now think about that space. Maybe you've passed it 100 times without thinking. Maybe it holds a chair no one sits in, or a side table that collects unopened mail. Maybe it's the cleanest part of your home yet feels the most hollow. That's not design. That's energy waiting for assignment. Because the northwest window is more than glass and framing. It's the way your home looks outward to the world, and to the future, and it's asking you, gently, what stands guard here. This isn't a space for flashy color or fast-moving shapes. It's not for plants that demand attention. It's for steadiness, for grounded clarity. This is where you place something that says, I'm here, I'm watching, you're safe. And the right plant, in the right posture, becomes just that, a quiet guardian. So what kind of plant belongs here? Think structure, think calm. Rubber plants, peace lilies, fiddle leaf figs, plants with defined form, upright presence, and soft but strong energy. These are not dramatic. They don't vine or sprawl. They stand. And that's what this corner needs. Something that reminds the home of its own spine. Now consider light. A window in the northwest gives more than sunshine. It gives clarity. But only if you let it. Heavy curtains, dusty blinds, cluttered sills, these mute the message. They tell the space to retreat, when what it's asking is to engage. You don't need wide open glass, just intentional openness, a clear pane, a shade that lifts easily. Let the light arrive. Let the view be visible, even for a moment a day. And if the view isn't beautiful, that's okay. You're not decorating for the neighbors. You're shaping energy for yourself. even a glimpse of sky, of trees, of motion beyond the wall. It reconnects the space to the living world. That's what makes this corner different. It doesn't just reflect what's inside. It reminds you there's something outside worth staying strong for. Now layer in feeling. What does this corner say emotionally? If it feels forgotten, unstable, or just off, it may be holding more than dust. The Northwest is connected with protection, purpose, and mental clarity. When this corner is neglected, you might feel more anxious at home, or more indecisive without knowing why. You may find yourself starting things but not finishing, or sensing that no one has your back even when they do. It's subtle, but it shows up. But when this corner is clear, intentional, and alive, it becomes your anchor. A place where you can sit and exhale, where you can stand with your back to the room and still feel safe. And the plant here becomes part of that protection, not just symbolically, but biologically. It cleans the air. It filters the light. It reminds you, every time you pass it, that something strong and living is keeping watch. Want to take it deeper? Add one more element. A low, grounded object beside the plant, like a stone, a bowl, a small sculpture, something that doesn't move. Something that says, this is permanent. This matters. It's not clutter, it's clarity. Place it with intention, and then leave it. Let it do its job. Because sometimes strength doesn't come from what's loud. It comes from what endures quietly. From the corners that don't change, even when everything else does. From the part of your home that doesn't just welcome you but stands up for you too. So today, stand in the northwest corner of your home, near the window. Look out. Look in. Ask yourself, what in my life needs less noise and more strength? What in my space is ready to hold that message for me, without speaking a word? And if the answer comes softly, don't worry. That's how guardians speak. Number 3. In the bedroom but far from the bed. There's a rhythm to your bedroom. Not the kind you hear, but the kind you feel. It hums beneath the sheets, lingers in the corners, echoes between breaths in the early morning. It's where your body softens and your mind lets go. Or at least it should. But for many people, rest doesn't come easy. Sleep feels light. Dreams feel distant. The room looks calm, but doesn't feel quiet. And often, it has nothing to do with your mattress or your stress level. It has to do with one thing: how you've placed your energy. More specifically, where you've placed your plants. Let's get right to it. A plant in the bedroom is not a mistake. But a plant too close to the bed can quietly disturb the very balance you're trying to build. Why? Because plants are alive. They breathe. They absorb. They move energy softly, continuously, even when you're asleep. And while that's beautiful in a living room or near a window, in the bedroom, you don't want stimulation. You want stillness. Which is why the location of a plant matters even more here than anywhere else in the home. So where should it go? Far from the bed. Tucked gently in a corner. Not looming. Not overbearing. A plant at the foot of the bed or near the doorway can act as a soft energy buffer. Something that says, this is the edge. You can let go now. But a plant right beside your headboard, that's like whispering movement into your ear all night long. You may not hear it, but your nervous system does. You may not see it, but your sleep rhythms feel the shift. And over time, it adds up: restlessness, lighter sleep, waking without feeling restored. The goal here isn't to strip your bedroom of life. It's to place life where it can support yours. Choose a plant that feels gentle. Think trailing ivy, lavender, a small rosemary bush. Avoid spiky shapes, strong scents, or anything that grows fast and wild. In this room, energy should be subtle, predictable, and grounded. You're not asking for growth. You're asking for release, for peace, for exhale. Now let's talk placement. One of the most forgotten but powerful positions for a plant is near the bedroom door, but not directly in line with it. This allows the plant to serve as a natural transition between the noise of the house and the quiet of your inner world. It holds the entry point not like a guard, but like a gentle reminder you're safe here. You've arrived. Another overlooked spot. A low bench or shelf near the foot of the bed. This helps contain energy, giving the room a natural edge without closing it in. What you want to avoid is any sense of being surrounded. Plants on both sides of the bed, above it, or too close on the nightstand can create a feeling of crowding. Even if you love plants, even if they look beautiful, beauty without breathing room becomes pressure, and pressure is not what you need when you sleep. Think of your bedroom as a pulse, a soft, slow one. Your plant should match that rhythm, not override it. One soft green presence in the right corner can shift the whole tone of the space. It doesn't need to bloom. It doesn't need to impress. It just needs to hold the way silence holds a song. And here's the deeper layer. Bedrooms are where we process our fears, our hopes, our memories. When you're asleep, your mind is filing stories you didn't finish during the day. So the energy in this room should not be ambitious. It should be kind, forgiving, private. A loud or misplaced plant can turn your subconscious into a place of vigilance instead of healing. And healing is the only thing your bedroom should be designed for. So tonight, before you turn out the light, take a moment. Look around. Ask gently, does this room feel like it's on your side? Does the plant near your dresser add peace or pull attention? Is there space to let go, or is something standing too close? You don't need to throw anything away. You just need to move it until the energy quiets, until your breath slows, until your body says, yes, here. Because a plant in your bedroom isn't there to impress anyone. It's there to soften the silence, to meet you without asking anything in return. And when you place it with care far from the bed, but not far from the heart, it becomes something more than a decoration. It becomes a companion to your rest, a quiet witness to your peace, a pulse you can trust. Number 4. On or near the dining area, connecting lives. Some rooms in the home speak loudly. The kitchen buzzes with doing. The living room carries sound, screens, footsteps. But the dining area, when it's used well, is the quietest kind of stage. It's where words slow down, where glances hold longer, where time can either stretch wide or slip through untouched. It's not about food. It's about presence. And yet, in so many homes, the dining area has become a pass-through. A holding place for unopened mail, mismatched chairs, a table that feels too big or too small for the life that now gathers around it. Now pause. Look at your own dining space. Is there a plant nearby? At the center? Off to the side? Is it thriving or quietly struggling, whether you realize it or not? That plant is holding the tone of your connection. Because what you place in the center of your gathering reflects what you expect from gathering itself. Plants in the dining area aren't just decorative, they're energetic anchors. When chosen and placed with intention, they say, this is a space of life. This is where we return to each other. But when they're too large, too stiff, or clearly forgotten, they signal something else: disconnection, neglect, or worse, obligation. Let's talk placement first. A plant directly in the middle of a rectangular table should never block sightlines. If someone can't see the person across from them, intimacy fades, conversation shrinks, eye contact becomes work. The plant, instead of supporting connection, becomes a polite interruption. But shift that same plant just slightly off center, or better yet, choose a low, soft plant like rosemary or a small fern, and suddenly the energy shifts. The table breathes again. People settle more easily. You've given them permission to see and be seen. Now let's talk shape. The dining area is all about equality, shared space. No one leads, no one hides, so the plant should echo that tone. Round leaves, soft curves, balanced shapes. Avoid anything spiky, towering, or overly complex. You don't want hierarchy. You want harmony. The plant should feel like a quiet guest present, but not demanding. Light matters too. A dining space with a plant should feel like it holds morning light even if it's evening. If there's a window, place the plant where it can catch some of that glow. If not, consider a warm overhead pendant or a table lamp on a side buffet nearby. Let the light touch the leaves gently. Light plus green equals softness. And softness is what makes people speak more openly, laugh more easily, stay longer than they meant to. Here's the deeper truth. For many of us, the dining area has lost its place. Meals are eaten standing up. Phones sit next to forks. The table, once sacred, has become secondary. But a single, Well-placed plant can begin the restoration. It's not about decoration, it's about reminder. A living thing in the center of the table says, "This moment matters. This gathering is not a pause between other things. It is the thing." And even if you live alone, especially if you do, the plant becomes your company. It holds the space with you. It receives your attention without needing performance. You sit, you eat, and you are not alone. That, too, is connection. So what to avoid? Large floor plants right behind chairs. These can feel imposing. Aggressive vines overhead. They may look beautiful, but energetically, they can feel heavy, like something is looming. A plant that's clearly dying sends a quiet message of neglect, even if everything else looks fine. Keep it clean, alive, and slightly understated. This isn't about making a statement. It's about making space. And here's the emotional layer. So many of our relational wounds, unspoken tension, long silences, misunderstandings don't come from big events. They come from repeated moments when connection almost happened, but didn't. When someone sat down hoping to be met and wasn't. When a meal was shared, but nothing else was. The dining area holds those moments, and over time, it remembers. A plant here doesn't erase them, but it begins a new rhythm, one of care, of choice, of shared breath. So the next time you set the table, even if it's just for you, place something alive at its heart. Not for looks, for presence. Let it stand as a sign this space is active. This space is sacred. This space connects, lives, even the ones still healing, still learning, still returning. Because in a world that moves fast and speaks loud, sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is sit down together, with something green between us, and let that be enough. Number 5. Under a staircase only if it breathes light. There's a kind of stillness in the space beneath a staircase. Not silent stillness. A low, quiet pocket of air. A pause between floors. A place most people overlook or fill without thinking. And yet, this small triangle of space carries more energetic weight than we realize. It's a threshold. Neither upstairs nor down. Not quite public. Not fully private. And like all thresholds, it asks one question before it accepts anything placed there. Is this light enough to carry? Under the stairs is not a dead zone, it's a dormant one. It holds potential, but only if we approach it carefully. When you place a plant here, you're doing more than decorating. You're waking up a space that prefers to rest. And unless you do that with intention, the result is not energy, it's heaviness. A kind of quiet drag that you won't see, but you'll feel. Especially in the body, especially in the chest. Think about it. The staircase is movement, flow, transition, but the underside of that movement can easily become a catch-all. A holding bay for what doesn't belong anywhere else. Shoes, boxes, forgotten decorations. And when we add a plant, especially one that's large or struggling, it doesn't brighten the space. It anchors the stagnation. You might think you're adding life, but instead, you've just given way to home. So how do you know if a plant belongs there? Start with light. If natural light reaches under the stairs, even just a glimpse, there's potential. If not, the answer is almost always no. Plants may survive in shade, but they don't thrive in shadows that never shift. A dim space beneath the stairs should never hold something living unless that life is actively supported. That means consistent light. That means care. That means presence. If the space does breathe light, even softly, then proceed gently. Choose plants that are slow growing, low to the ground, rounded in shape. Avoid tall or fast-rising plants, they conflict with the downward pull of the staircase above. You want something that settles the space, not something that fights it. Think mossy textures, peace lilies, snake plants with structure. Nothing dramatic, nothing loud. This isn't a space for ambition, it's a space for stability. And consider the emotional impact. Corners under stairs are often close to entrances, to transitions. A poorly placed plant here can create a sense of being watched, or worse, blocked. You've likely felt this without realizing it. Walking past a staircase and feeling off for a second, not sure why. That's the body reading tension between motion and mass. A plant with sharp angles, too large for the space, amplifies that unease. It becomes a silent pressure point, and it lingers. But when done right, when a plant is placed with precision and respect, the area transforms. It becomes a hush, not a void, a breath, not a burden. Visitors won't notice it immediately, but they'll pause longer by the stairs. They'll speak more softly. The space holds them in a way they didn't expect. That's the power of a corner aligned with its nature. If the space has no light, consider stillness instead of growth. A smooth stone, a soft lamp, a closed cabinet. Still energy anchors movement in a different way. It says here is where motion rests. That message, when heard by the home, balances the entire structure. Because every house needs a pause point. And sometimes the most respectful thing you can place is nothing at all. Here's one final thought: if something feels off under your stairs, don't fix it by adding more. Fix it by listening. Remove one thing. Sweep the floor. Touch the wall. Then ask, what is this space holding for me? What have I pushed here that I didn't want to face? Because under the stairs is where we often hide what we're not ready to carry upstairs yet. And that includes emotion. So place with care. Choose simplicity. And never put life where light has no way in. Because a plant isn't just a decoration, it's a witness. It grows with what you give. And if that space offers only weight and shadow, the plant won't be the only thing that starts to fade. Your home already knows where life wants to go. All you have to do is listen. Final, you've just walked through 5 corners of your home, but really, you've walked through 5 mirrors. 5 quiet spaces that, for years, may have gone unnoticed. Not because you didn't care, but because no one ever told you that. Placement isn't just about beauty, it's about energy. It's about where stillness rests, where movement begins, and where life, real, grounded, vibrant life, has the space to return. The plant next to your back door, the one reflected in your mirror, the one squeezed between 2 chairs. Each one is not just a green shape. It's a signal, a quiet pattern, a message about what you're ready to receive or what you've unconsciously pushed away. But now you've seen them. And once you see, you can never unsee. This is not about perfection. It's not about rules. It's about rhythm. And every home has one, just like every person. Some corners are meant to rise. Some are meant to anchor. Some, like the space under the stairs, are meant to rest. But all of them respond to intention, to presence, to the care we bring, not with effort, but with attention. You don't need a bigger house. You don't need new furniture. Sometimes, you just need to move one plant 3 feet to the left. And in doing so, you move the weight on your chest, the restlessness in your mornings, the stuckness that no to-do list could shake. That is the real magic of a mindful home. It works with you, not against you. It listens and reflects. So thank you, truly, for slowing down, for walking with me through these corners, these questions, these gentle openings. I hope this wasn't just about rearranging space. I hope it brought you back to a deeper truth, that you and your home are always in conversation, and that it's never too late to begin speaking with care. May your rooms breathe easier. May your mornings feel softer. And may every plant in your home know it finally stands where it belongs. Thank you for being here. You were exactly where you needed to be.